And we're live. Hello all and welcome. And I am the Realist Philosopher. And this is the Realist Philosopher Show. So how y'all doing today? Hope y'all doing good, fine, and well. I'm doing all right. And first of all, before anything, I want to apologize for a fan sound you might hear. That is my computer. I recently cranked my fans, which are very, very high speed at maximum setting, way up, and I forgot to turn them back down in the BIOS before I turned the computer on. So I apologize, and when I post this later on other platforms, I will do my darndest to minimize or even remove that sound using my audio editor. But if you hear it, I apologize. It should be minimal because my microphone is turned way down in regards to its, input. But anyway, hope you're all doing well. I'm not. I'm not doing well. You want to know why I'm not doing well? Because I watched Game of Thrones, and it sucked. It sucked ass. Oh, my God. What were these showrunners thinking? Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. I think I would find Snowfalling to be more entertaining than this. Yeah, I think so. I think those cat videos that, the ones you sometimes watch on, and I'm guilty of it too, the ones with the dogs and cats playing, and the cats playing with the squirrels and shit, and all these weird animals, diverse animals getting along well. That's more entertaining. The cat falling in the toilet. Playing with the fucking toilet paper and unrolling all of it until you get this mountain of toilet paper on the floor. More entertaining. And about the same quality. Except in this case, I'm talking about the quality of used toilet paper, meaning worthless shit that needs to be flushed. So for those of you who haven't already seen the episode, Season 8, Number 5 from Game of Thrones, and you don't want to be spoiled. You don't want it to be spoiled for you, by the way. It's already spoiled. It's pre-spoiled. I can't spoil it any more than it actually is. But if you do not want to know what happens, this is when you should tune out. But if you've already seen it and you have the same gripes as I do, but you want to really, really, really get into the gripes and know that you're not alone, then keep watching because spoilers are ahead. Okay, so first of all, I want to address the general things. I want to just address the general before I get to the specific, okay? One second. I need a boost of coffee here. If you're thinking I've already had some, that was like about 12 hours ago. Believe it or not, I'm boosted all right, baby, from my anger. Now I'm going to be double boosted. Anger and fucking caffeine. So I'm going to be going hard, baby. So let's address the general things, first of all. Number one, Tyrion's a moron. This fucking guy, he's supposed to be the smartest guy there is. And they built him up as this super genius the first 3 seasons, right? In the past. Now what is he? He's a dummy. He's a dumb dwarf. What use is he? He's half a man and he's got half a brain too, apparently. So he tells Varys that Jon is the real deal. He's a male Targaryen and he's directly descended from the heir to the throne, which gives him more claim. Not because he's a man necessarily, but because he's a direct descendant. He would have been the next in line if his daddy had survived. Right? Well, maybe not. If his daddy had survived and his daddy's kids had survived by his first wife, then the male child of that. But anyway, those kids died and, well, anyway, he's the next heir, okay? He'd be the next heir. He tells Varys. Varys gets all concerned and thoughtful and, decides to betray Daenerys. Now, this is another thing I have a problem with. It seems that Varys ain't too bright either, okay? He used to be much smarter. Now, let's address Tyrion first. He keeps following Daenerys even after she says she's going to burn the fucking city down. She wants to burn the city down. There's a better option in Jon, and it turns out she might be a whack job, which, we're going to get into that. Yeah, but I'm not a genius anymore. My IQ dropped about 50 points, so I'm going to keep following her. Yeah. I'm going to bet on the wrong horse, even though I'm smart enough to see it's the wrong fucking horse, and I'm going to lose all my motherfucking money. Just like she lost her fucking marbles, apparently. So he decides to tell Daenerys about Varys. Yeah, good idea. I'm going to tell the wacky nutty broad who's lost her fucking marbles and looks like she's ready to execute anyone, even the person that if they bring her fucking dinner cold, she might have their head chopped off. I'm so scared of this broad. I'm going to tell her I fucked up. I'm going to tell her I fucked up when I know that she's the wrong choice and she's losing her fucking marbles or has already lost them, and that Varys might be able to solve the problem. But I'm going to stay loyal. I need to stay loyal like a good fucking dog that can't think. That's why dogs are so loyal. And that's why they're man's best friend. They're too stupid to see when they got a better deal. I'm going to stick with this losing fucking horse that might chop my fucking head off if I don't bring them a warm meal. So he tells her, yeah, I fucked up. Sansa told me Jon's secret. Throwing Jon under the bus here. And I told Varys, yeah, okay, have pity on me. And then she's like, if you fuck up again, I'm going to kill you. Uh-oh. Kind of saw that coming, though, right? So why would this brilliant genius say anything? He seems to have no concern for his own hide. And so, off his word alone, she essentially, what does she do? We know what she does. She burns Varys alive, right? Yeah. How predictable. I thought these guys didn't like being predictable. Why didn't you chop his head off? Or throw him off a cliff or something like that. Or let him live and send him in exile, right? Oh, no. We're not going to subvert expectations here. No. This is an easy one. We called it before. This doesn't make our job easier and our writing easier. And we'll just, hey, there's nothing to be gained by subverting expectations here. Where the writing would have to be good. Where the writing would have to be top-notch. Where we would actually have to sit down and think about it. Oh, no, we'll just subvert expectations. Well, this is too easy. Too easy. We already know what we're going to do. It's easy to have them burned alive. So, yeah, we don't need to subvert expectations there. We just need to subvert expectations where it would take actual quality writing. Yeah. All right, so they kill Varys. And what's up with Varys? What a fucking moron. So, I'm going to betray somebody. What am I going to do? I'm going to hang around him? Yeah, I'm going to betray her, but I'm going to keep working for her and stay in close proximity to her, even though it's only a matter of time till she figures out what I'm doing, because, Tyrion made it very clear that he was going to stay loyal, and I was dumb enough to tell him that I was going to betray her, so any second now they might find out, or maybe they'll get their hands on one of these ravens I'm sending out with all these messages to betray her in favor of Jon. But I'm gonna stay close to her anyway, because, I know that when she finds out that I'm betraying her, she'll fucking kill me and burn me alive, but I'm gonna stick around anyway, even though when the very same thing happened in King's Landing, he jumped on the first fucking boat when he knew the jig was up. But for some reason, he stayed there with Daenerys. Yeah, that makes a lot of fucking sense. Get the fuck out of here. Are you kidding me? They call him the Spider. I know he's a big fat guy, but, I would think that this master, spy, whatever, could gin up some reason to get off fucking Dragonstone, and then get the hell out of there, and then continue conspiring against her. Oh, but no, I'm going to stick around until she burns me alive and has her dragon eat me. It makes no sense at all. Oh, fuck me. And, all right, those were kind of specific, but now the next thing that I really had a problem with is the army. Where did this army come from? Were you all watching the same episode I was in episode number 3, which I also did a review on? Check my channel. It's crazy. Everybody died! The fucking Unsullied got massacred. They died to almost the last man. The only person that survived was Grey Worm because he's the leader. We're invested in him. He's kind of a major character, so he has impenetrable plot armor, right? Apparently this dragon does too, and Dany does as well. And fucking Tyrion, don't get me started. Not Varys, though. We saw that coming, right? Yeah, but that kind of predictable we were okay with. It's amazing. It's amazing how all the predictabilities that they don't have a problem with, and we don't feel the need to subvert your expectations, are all easy story threads that are just closed out like that have already been foreshadowed. Yeah. Meanwhile, everywhere where they subvert expectations, it'd be difficult. They'd have to actually do some work in good writing. So, what the fuck happened? We're thinking all these Unsullied. And what about the Dothraki? Where the fuck did they come from? Did she have some in reserve that we didn't know about? I got another 20,000 hiding out on the other side of Winterfell, and they're not get involved in the battle. We're going to save them for when I go after Cersei. God's willing. Yeah, come on. Everybody died. Everybody was talking about, well, they were all outside the castle walls because there was no room in the castle, my ass. By the way, that fucking whole castle battle, don't get me started. I'd have had people on the fucking roofs. I would have had people jammed into every fucking building, sticking their heads out windows with bows and arrows and shit. They would have been packed to the fucking gills in that place. But there were 20,000 Dothraki hiding in there. At the end of that battle in episode 3, it was bodies stacked, 12 feet fucking high, everywhere. Mountains of fucking bodies. Almost nobody was alive. Where did they get this big fucking army? It's insane. Where'd the North get all these men? The majority of them died. So that's another problem I got. She just pulls an army out of her ass. I need an army. Presto. We have an enema here. We'll shove it up your ass. Once we squirt this liquid in, you'll shit out 20,000 troops. Ooh, sounds painful. Surprisingly, no. They come out in little microscopic forms and they grow to full size overnight. Don't you worry. Ant-Man technology at work. Except in reverse. Yeah, okay. So she craps out 20, 30,000 troops, a bunch of Dothraki, even though they all died, I thought, charging against the undead they couldn't see at night. Yeah, brilliant. Head on. Oh, God. So I don't know where the army came from. And how about those fucking scorpions, huh? That's some amazing shit, man. They went from being pinpoint accurate. I got a Schofield scope on this motherfucker. Magnification 2000. I can hit something at 1,200 miles away with one of these bolts. Says Euron. Now he can't hit the broadside of a fucking castle. Literally. Yeah, bolts are flying left and right, zooming past her ear. She's dodging, she's weaving, she's bobbing, she's ducking. Bolts are flying all over the fucking place, but none of them are hitting that big dragon. A dragon that, by the way, is bigger than Rhaegar, who got 3. 3 bolts! They fired 3 bolts, and all 3 hit. Really? They didn't miss at all. This is crazy to me. And they weren't coming head on. They're flying beside the ships, which apparently she couldn't see, right? I'm 1,000 feet in the air. I can get hit by one of their bolts, but I can't see their fucking ships. Okay. Got hit by 3 bolts in quick succession. Each hit, nothing missed. But somehow in this episode, unlike the last one, every fucking bolt missed and they had a lot more scorpions. How about that wall? How about the whole wall of King's Landing? Dozens of scorpions. Somehow, she's able to evade them. Dragon doesn't need any armor. Dragon is suddenly fucking F-16 super pilot traveling at Mach speed. Nothing can touch her. That is some amazing plot armor. Rhaegar needed that in the last episode, but sadly, we needed to kill him so we could, ratchet up the level of angst and anger that she has to, further justify her losing her marbles and going nuts in this episode. Too much loss for me. Yeah, okay. My God. And how about the dragon fire? I got a real issue with this shit, okay? They think the audience are fucking morons, don't they? They think we're so stupid that we can't see anything. I mean, I know I'm not a fucking moron. Maybe some of you out there are, but I don't think so. I think you noticed this. Remember the scene where the slavers came to Meereen with all their ships, the ships that, by the way, helped Daenerys go back to King's Landing, back to Westeros, and they invaded Meereen, and then she came back, and she burned one of their ships as an example, and then everybody else surrendered. Do you remember how difficult that was? Do you remember it took all 3 of her dragons? All 3 of her dragons with sustained bursts of fire to destroy that ship, and that ship didn't, get torn apart, meaning the fire itself didn't have very much of a forceful nature to it. It burned shit, but it didn't do very much pushing and blasting and concussion and force striking. It burned. Now it seems like this fucking fire from Drogon is like a fucking missile. He shoots it at something, it explodes. Rock is blowing apart. The fucking fire is just pushing through with tremendous kinetic force. Nobody told me fire had kinetic fucking force outside of a goddamn explosion. What the fuck? Suddenly the dragon can breathe explosions now? Holy shit. Did you see this stuff? So these dragons' breath went from just something that could push mildly because of the heat, right? And mainly burn to being some kind of fucking guided nuclear missile almost. Like Moab, the mother of all fucking bombs. Moab, right? That's that 1 kiloton bomb, right? It's the most powerful non-nuclear bomb. What the fuck? Now she's strafing ships. Breath's coming out. Destroys 6 ships. Boom, they just get cut in half. Where this sudden power increase? Is this some kind of video game where she's flying around eating little fucking... little fucking, what are those? Marshmallow stars in a fucking shitty 1980s video game, and she's getting power-ups and shit? What the fuck? Talk about powered up. What the hell's going on? It's crazy. No consistency at all. This whole scene, all the scenes of this dragon just strafing the fucking city with fire. So suddenly, these scorpions can't hit a fucking thing, when before they put 3 shots in succession into Rhaegar. And the fire that this dragon breathes has become some kind of fucking concussive, kinetic, blasting force that just blows fucking castles apart. It don't melt stone. I thought it melted stone. No, it doesn't melt stone. It blows stone apart. What the fuck? Why? Why make this change? You'd think we wouldn't notice this? It doesn't melt stone. Dragon fire is so powerful, it blasts stone apart. Last time I checked, fire doesn't do that. Explosions can do that, but not fire. And their fire hasn't done that in the past. Remember, again, it took 3 dragons a long fucking time to destroy one ship in the Battle of Meereen. Now, she's blowing them apart. Whoosh, whoosh. 3 at a time, 5 at a time, no problem. No archers. Where are the fucking archers? The only thing on them fucking walls were scorpions. Those walls could have held tens of thousands of archers. You're going to tell me people firing tens of thousands of arrows couldn't have hit the arrows on the back of that fucking dragon? Or put an arrow in that dragon's fucking eye? Why was it only scorpions? What about the troops? What about the thousands of Unsullies she shit out of her ass with her magic fucking colostomy bag, with her magic enema bag? Why weren't there archers on the wall shooting at them with their little fucking tin shields the size of a saucer? It's crazy. And what the hell was up with the fucking Golden Company? There was let me speak more generally. Character development. This season has had none. No character development. Golden Company. Ooh, gold. The company of gold. Wild, clothed gentlemen, all elite fighters. Oh, they're so great. Bring them to Westeros. They'll tear Dany's army apart. And they're supposed to be legitimate badasses. And in the books, they fought for the Blackfires during the Blackfire Civil War. And then they got exiled. And then they wanted to come back. And people were essentially guessing or predicting that they would switch sides in return for returning to Westeros, because they had used to be a bunch of lords that lived in Westeros, and now they want to return from their exile. And everybody was predicting they'll betray Cersei. Nah. Well, with all that hype, you would think that there would be more to them, but there was no character development. What did you see the leader for 30 seconds? Bandying words with Euron in the throne room about how Euron had killed some of his troops that weren't very good fighters over some kind of bullshit gambling, playing dice on a fucking ship. That was it. Oh, that's the whole fucking character development. That's it. He just shows up. He looks like he's in order. He's dressed nice. That's the character development. This whole fucking season is so rushed. It's kind of like me talking right now. Everything was so rushed. They put no time, no effort, no care into anything. No development of the plot, no development of the characters. We'll just tie off these loose ends. Man, the easiest, most convenient way possible. All the other stuff we won't explain. The Night King, who is he? We don't know. We're not going to tell you. Oh, we have plans for a prequel. And, prequels don't do very well. But we want to make you real curious. So we're not going to tell you anything about the Night King. We're just going to go back in time 8,000 years. And we got a prequel that'll tell you all that. So we're not going to give you any spoilers about that, right? And we're not going to explain anything about the fucking Night King. You're assuming I'm going to watch it, by the way. You produced this turd. This big giant turd that's so big I can't flush my fucking toilet. And you expect me to watch a prequel? Get the fuck out of here. So those are my general gripes. Okay? Those are my general gripes. Let's get to the... well, I can't believe this. I mean, they had the Night King dying in one episode for this, a bunch of filler, and this crappy battle that lasted something like 7 minutes. I shit you not. The fight in King's Landing lasted 7 minutes, and then you got like 30 minutes of a dragon flying overhead, burning city streets. And by the way, they reused a bunch of those shots. Okay? A bunch of those shots with that dragon flying overhead, burning the streets, they were reused. multiple times. They didn't expect you to notice. Hey, I saw that guy 3 times before. Because we're all morons, right? We can't see the inconsistencies or the repetition. No. All right, I need more coffee. Maybe not. Holy shit. What the fuck? I'm zooming, baby. Let me dilute it with a little water first before I drink some more coffee. All right. So, yeah, really ridiculous. All right, so let's get to the meat of it. Danny goes nuts. Why so soon? Again, why was the last... there's another gripe I have. 2 years for this? Really? We had too much to do. We couldn't do it in a year. Meanwhile, you have other seasons that had more intrigue, more suspense, more plot lines, just more shit going on, period, and they were better quality, and you managed to churn them out in a year. What's your excuse for this shit? Too much CGI. That's why you killed Rhaegal, right? You didn't want him flying overhead, and you had to pay for 2 dragons burning shit, right? Too difficult, too expensive to pay for 2 dragons and have CGI for 2 dragons. What they do with all this money? Somebody tell me that, by the way. And then the showrunners, they got all this fucking money. They got loads and loads of fucking cash. They got Brinks trucks full of fucking cash rolling in. Do whatever you want. There's a moneymaker, baby. Oh, yeah, this will be making money in reruns and syndication for years. Not anymore. I'm not going to watch this show again. What a piece of crap. But they had all the money in the world that they could possibly want. And what did they do? Jesus Christ. They either had characters regress back to earlier states, which you don't want to see after somebody has made this long redemption arc, or they just turned characters into morons or made them completely irrelevant. Like Jon Snow. What the fuck did he do this season? Why was he brought back to life? Just to stand around looking like a moron? Oh, brooding? They get a lot of compliments from people for doing what? He hasn't done anything. I rode in the back of a dragon to burn shit. Ooh, let me shake your hand, bitch. You didn't do anything. You did nothing there. Nothing. You didn't even make it to the Night King when he fell to the fucking ground. I'm going to stop running as a plot device so that the Night King can have a chance to raise some of our troops into undead and stop me from attacking him. Because I can't be the one to kill him because that's too predictable. Yeah, because, I don't like predictable. Predictable's horrible, right? Yeah, it can be banging away at some broad, and it's a predictable outcome. It's a predictable outcome, so I stop and I don't shoot my splooge because, that's so predictable. That's not fulfilling. No, too predictable to be quality and good. Yeah, come on, get out of here. Can't be good if it's predictable. We've had 8 years of build-up to this, but we're just going to subvert expectations. Morons. We're such edgy artists. Postmodernism. Nothing has any meaning, so it doesn't matter what we do. But let's definitely not be predictable, right? Because that's too traditionally normal. Okay. All right. Yeah, so John wasted this season, right? What did this fucking guy do? Just stands around, lapdog. And then, of course, when he finds out that Danny is his aunt, he doesn't want to boff her anymore. Oh, the horror! By the way, if he had boffed her, she might not have burned that fucking city, right? She pushed him away. Remember that scene? So the scene in this episode, she starts crawling on him. I need you, baby. I need you, Johnny boy. And he's like, not in incest, sweetheart. I know you're a Targaryen, but I don't want to fuck my aunt, even if she is my age. I'd probably have boffed her. She's too hot. She's a good-looking broad. No, I'm just kidding. I don't find her particularly attractive. Face is good, but I've seen her naked. She's chunky. She's kind of chunky. She's very hippie, and I can't see daylight between her upper thighs. So, no thank you. And when I can't see that, that means she's carrying too much baggage, right? Okay. Women have wider hips, so you should definitely be able to see sunlight between those thighs unless she's some kind of world-class fucking bodybuilder and she's got like big tree trunk legs. Then it's excusable, but otherwise, no. So, yeah, she's all upset. I need somebody to comfort me. And she pushes him away instead of having him close and talking to him and having an advisor. She just pushes everybody away from her. What did he do this season? He did jack shit. Sorry, I have bad allergies. All right. So he's useless. They might as well not have had him on the show. He served no purpose whatsoever. He was just window dressing this entire fucking season. Why is he there? Well, the spoilers say that he's going to be the one to kill Danny. Maybe. Maybe. The leaks, there have been a lot of leaks around this show, and those leaks say that he's going to be the one to kill her. Maybe. Now, the predictable thing would be have Arya kill her, right? So, of course, it'll be Jon, because not predictable! And the leaks also say that he'll then join the Night's Watch. After he kills Danny, he'll rejoin, because his death freed him from his vows before. Because, if you commit any crime in the realms, you can be pardoned by joining the Night's Watch and taking the Black, which I don't understand because, Night King dead, White Walker's gone. What the fuck do you need the Night Watch anymore for? And the wall is fucking destroyed anyway. It's got this big fucking hole. Unlike what the Democrats tell you, walls don't work if they have big giant fucking holes. It could be a 700 fucking mile long wall. But if you have this big gaping hole at one point, guess what? Everybody who wants to get through your wall is going to go there and walk through. So the wall's useless. So what the fuck is he going to join the Night Watch for? So I don't know if those leaks are correct or not. But anyway, yeah. So Varys has become stupid. So they've just diminished all the characters. It seems like they've diminished the male characters, essentially turned the female characters into something else entirely. Arya is another problem I have. Okay, she goes with the Hound to King's Landing. I don't know why. Because they're in the Red Keep, and then suddenly the Hound is like, you need to stop right here, baby. If you go any further, you're going to die. I'm here to kill the queen, Pinhead. Yeah, you want to be like me? Don't be like me. Like in that movie, As Good As It Gets. He's talking to the fucking dog. Don't be like me. Don't ever be like me. Except the guy didn't have a burned up face in that movie. But anyway, fucking autofocus. All right. So she just changes her mind, She's been planning to kill the queen all this fucking time, and supposedly Arya is this badass, serious assassin, but all of a sudden, you know what? You're right, Sandor. And she calls him by name. I'm going to go play a Mary Sue Nurse savior and save no one. Everybody's going to die anyway. And I'm going to spend the whole rest of the show running around the city like a scared fucking, like a chicken with its head cut off. Like one of the other terrified plebs running around like chickens with their heads cut off, not knowing where to go for the next 35 minutes of dragons flying over burning shit. So I'm going to be a useless character. I guess the writers got lazy. They didn't want to do anything with her. Oh, God, we got to write something with her, are you? Oh, that'd take too much time, man. We spent 2 years partying and getting down and spending HBO's money on hookers. We just don't have the time now to put in to writing any actual story for Arya in this episode. She'll just run around uselessly. The same goes for Jon. All right, so the show starts off, the battle scene. You got the Unsullied that she shat out, I guess, and the Northerners, which she shat out, I guess. There were like 5 people left alive at the end of the fucking episode 3 that I saw. But apparently, she can magically multiply people. I don't know where, again, the fucking Dothraki, I thought they were all dead. But they're there facing the Golden fucking Company. And then suddenly the wall behind the Golden Company blows up. And that's all the infantrymen's in to the city. Which, by the way, that didn't kill them all. So why there was any fighting outside the city? From what I saw, that wall blowing up, it only destroyed a small detachment of the Golden Company. So what the hell the rest of them were doing? That were on either side of the breach that Dany created with her dragon that can now breathe kinetic energy. Again, I wasn't aware fire had kinetic energy short of a fucking explosion creating it. But hey! So, yeah. They charge in. And they start killing Lannister soldiers, right? Lannister soldiers, gold cloaks, whoever's been outfitted to protect the city. And she's flying around destroying these scorpions. Apparently the scorpions can't shoot anymore. I'm watching one whole scene with the dragons flying around shooting scorpions that ain't doing anything. There's people all around them doing shit, but the scorpions are just not moving. Hello, Pinhead, shoot her. She's right there. No, we suddenly can't shoot anymore. The episode before, we had super duper quick, super fast reloading abilities. We could fire 3 rounds a minute in that motherfucker. Hell, 3 rounds a second. But now, no, we're still reloading. Too late. Burned to death. Oh, no, the audience won't notice that inconsistency. They're morons. Okay, sure, yeah. So she just magically destroys the scorpions. Nobody can shoot anymore. By the way, she's flying super close to the walls where the scorpions are. So how one person didn't get a shot off while they see her coming? She's coming down the wall. She's flying right down the wall. Parallel to the wall. Right over the wall. Somebody shoot her ass. We're reloading, sir. What the fuck? Because they're all going to fire at once, right? And leave themselves defenseless, huh? Yeah. I don't get it. My God. I still don't get the fire thing. I mean, maybe it has to do with the dragons getting bigger, but, you didn't see a baby bump on Cersei, right? That's another thing. Teleporting all over the fucking place. Time doesn't seem to have any meaning in this show. Existence doesn't seem to have any meaning in this show. Nothing seems to have any meaning. Distance, no meaning. Oh, yeah, Castle Black is 1,000 leagues from King's Landing, but hey, we'll make it just like that. Does anybody out there know how far 1,000 leagues is, by the way? It's 3 miles per league. 1 league is 3 miles. That's 3,000 miles. So essentially, get this. So the North, this is just, so they traveled with their armies to Winterfell after they had the meeting where Cersei promised to help them in the dragon pit, and she essentially reneged. They traveled 1,000 leagues, their infantry, to Winterfell. Then they prepared for however long it took them to prepare for the Night King. And then they traveled back to King's Landing. 3,000 miles there. Prep time to build all these defenses. 3,000 miles back. Oh, she's not showing yet. Oh, my. Really? What the fuck? God. All right, so time has no meaning and distance has no meaning in this show, and they think that we can't, Google what a league is, although I've known what a fucking league is since I was 10 years old. I'm a prolific reader, was from an early age, so I know what these old words mean. But anyway, yeah, no consistency. So, yeah, these apparently not that much time passed, so that dragon couldn't have got that much bigger to, shoot up that power bar for its breath. I mean, the scorpions, their increased power can be explained by the fact that, Qyburn ratcheted up their size. It took 4 men to pull back the levers on that thing where before 1 man could do it. So that's explainable. That's probably the only logical thing in the show. Was the scorpion's power up was actually explainable. It was the only thing I could explain. So they get into the city, and Dany's burned all the scorpions, and she's burning enemy troops, and then, I missed something. The only good scene in the whole fucking episode before this point, before the battle started, was Tyrion releasing his brother Jaime from captivity. Now he's going to get fucked in the ass for that. Dany, who's lost her fucking mind, is going to kill him, I'm sure. She's going to from what I hear of the leaks say that she's going to put him on trial, so we got more filler, essentially. The next show is going to be focused around Tyrion being put on trial again. Oh, yeah, that sounds real exciting. I think taking a dump at this point is probably more exciting for me than the thought of watching this next episode, okay? A good dump can be pretty relieving, but no. I'm looking forward to my next dump more than I am this fucking next episode. But anyway, so, yeah, he's going to be put on trial for that. So he released Jaime because, well, he kind of had to, right? Jaime released him before. Now, I don't know if it's even Steven because was Jaime really putting his life at risk? Would his father have really killed the heir to Casterly Rock? If he had survived, that is. No, he survived. So Tyrion was at a lot more risk. So I think that Tyrion freeing Jaime meant a hell of a lot more. But anyway, he wanted to even the scales, and they had a nice little talk where he thanked his brother Jaime, telling him that he never would have survived childhood if it wasn't for Jaime helping him, protecting him, being a good brother. And they had a nice moment. And they're both very good actors. Now, that's one thing I have to say about this show. The acting is good. The acting is spot on. We have a lot of skilled, very talented actors on this show, minus Daenerys. She's got like one facial feature. And actually, she displayed some more range in this show. She didn't do a very good job of it, though. Not very convincing, because, she's played one face, both in that crappy Soilo movie and this show for like 9 fucking years it's been now. But the show's been on for, actual 8 seasons. But through the entire show, she's just had one facial expression. So, yeah, it's not real surprising she can't do mad, nutty, angry, whatever. She doesn't do it very well. She just has that one bitch face, stoic look. It's pretty much it. But everybody else is a good actor, okay? So she burns all the scorpions, and she lands and stops killing shit. And then you come to a scene where Northmen and Lannister soldiers are in a stare-off, and they're waiting to attack each other. The Lannisters aren't fighting, so the Northmen aren't attacking. And then the Lannisters decide to throw down their swords and surrender. Now, meanwhile, Jaime, the reason that Tyrion released him, aside from wanting to repay the favor, because, Jaime released him back in, season 4? So the reason he did that, the other reason, was to get Jaime to get to Cersei and convince her to surrender. And as a carrot, he offered him the chance to escape with Cersei. What the fuck's he care what happens to Cersei after? The kingdom hates her. And nobody's going to support her to take back the throne from Daenerys if she's able to escape, okay? The only reason they were supporting her at that point is because she's firmly entrenched with an army at her back and the Iron Bank supporting her. But once she's lost the city, once she's lost her throne, once she's lost her power, she's just some vagabond queen. Nobody's going to support her. No, she'll get away with Jaime. That's enough of a carrot to get Jaime to want to go in, get to Cersei, and get her to surrender, and then they can flee. He told him he left a little skiff at one of the secret entrances that's out on the beach, and that the Iron Fleet, which is also out there blockading the city, preventing, and is ready to fight Daenerys's, whatever ships Daenerys brings, and also use their scorpions to kill Drogon. That's so funny. Again, she just destroyed every ship. Last episode, those fucking scorpions on those ships, and ships move around and everything, but somehow Euron was a fucking sniper with that bitch, and he put 3 fucking bolts into Rhaegar. He couldn't hit shit now. In fact, he wasn't the one pulling the trigger. He's telling other people, come on, reload, shoot her. Before, he was shooting. Now somebody else is shooting. They should have had fucking Euron back pulling the trigger, because the people that work for him, the mutes whose tongues he ripped out, they couldn't shoot for shit. Nor did they have the magical reload ability that Euron seemed to have. So they didn't hit a goddamn thing. 1,000 ships, she burned them in like 2 minutes. Look, the Iron Fleet will protect us. They're gone, my queen. What? They had 1,000 ships? Well, the magical scaling power of Dragonfire. Before it wasn't that strong. Now it's invincible and has kinetic energy, striking ability. Whoa! So the Iron Fleet was gone. He told Jaime, you won't have to worry about the Iron Fleet. It'll be gone. The city will fall. You escape with Cersei, and we won't kill every innocent person in the city. Jaime's like, okay, I give you my word. Why he would keep it, I don't know. They've regressed his character to a point where he really seems to have no honor. But okay, he's regressed to old Jaime, but he'll still keep his word, which he does. He gets into the city, and he can't get into the Red Keep. So he does the next best thing, and essentially goes and starts ringing the bells himself. Bells start ringing, and Daenerys agreed earlier in the episode when Tyrion came to her and said, if I can convince the city to surrender, will you not destroy the city? And she went, okay. So the bells rang. And this is after she's destroyed all the scorpions, and after the Lannister soldiers have surrendered, and Cersei just goes like, because those bells ringing mean that the people have forsaken her, and that the people themselves are essentially surrendering And she knew what it meant as well. But there was almost a hint of relief on Cersei's face when those bells rang. Yes, there was defeat, but there was also some relief. Because she's like, okay, I'm not going to get burned to death now. I'm not going to get burned to death. So, all right. What happened? You got Daenerys sitting there on a dragon on the wall that no longer has any scorpions on it. And she's like, she starts going nutso when she hears the bells. It's kind of like Pavlov's dog. But she started hearing the bells, and she went from having this normal look on her face to like, she just went mad. Like that! It just happens! No build-up, no development. No, she's going nuts slowly over 10 episodes in a season. Wasn't foreshadowed at all. Well, she just went from being a normal human being to losing her fucking mind. And she just, I guess psychically, told the dragon what to do. And the dragon got up, started flying, and he started burning the shit out of the entire motherfucking city. He burnt it, they burnt it all. And the moment that Grey Worm, and then shoot the Grey Worm, and you can hear burning and explosions, because now, again, Dragonfire now has the ability to, concuss and fucking kinetically hit shit like a giant fist. It has physical power now, don't you know, to destroy rock and stone. It doesn't melt stone, it explodes it. And once he starts hearing that, he's like, okay, my queen has decided to burn the fucking city anyway. And yeah, I'm an ex-slave, and, a slave being the lowest of the low, I should have empathy for the masses. These are just regular, common citizens. It's not their fault, and it's supposed to be my job to free people. And I have empathy because I was a victim my whole life. So what does he do? He starts killing the Lannister soldiers who surrendered. Are you kidding me? Totally betraying his character as well. Yeah. And why did all this happen? Why? Missandei got her head cut off. Oh, and she got her other dragon killed, right? Yeah, that's the idea of foreshadowing. She lost her other dragon, and Missandei got her head lopped off. So let's kill 1 million people. Okay. What? Well, that subverted my expectations, baby. Oh, yeah. I was expecting the bells would eventually ring, or she would not destroy the whole fucking city, and that Arya would get into the fucking castle and kill the queen. Maybe she'd use one of her faces. That's another thing. How the fuck did Arya get into the city, let alone the Red Keep with Sandor Clegane? Now, I understand. It's been years since she's been there. Maybe they don't recognize her because she was a little girl when she left. They don't know her face, maybe. Yeah, probably not. Why would they? But Clegane? He was a Kingsguard. He protected Joffrey. He fought in the Battle of Blackwater Bay. They all know his face. But somehow, no, don't know him. Let him in. Now, I guess you could argue there was so much chaos and there were so many people. And he was wearing a hoodie. So they didn't recognize him. Oh, I guess you could argue that. It's possible, I guess. Although how many people have burned up fucking faces, right? And how many people are that fucking big? The guy that plays Sandor Clegane, he's something like 6'6" or something. He's a big fucking guy, okay? And this is a world of peasants, of plebs. Hey, they're lucky if they get to be 5.5 feet tall, okay? Napoleon is tall, to the height of most of these people. Starved fucking peasants and shit. He'd be a giant, but I don't notice him. Okay. Let's suspend rationality and belief because, well, it's a fantasy show, so there shouldn't be any logic or reason or consistency in this world. Oh, no. All right, so they get in. I figured she would kill the queen. No. No. Meanwhile, we get... So, the one good thing there was about episode 3 was the fighting. A lot of melee fighting. I like melee combat. There was lots of chopping and hacking and slashing. It wasn't very well done, by the way, but there was a lot of it, okay? And they replaced the quality with quantity. All right. What did you get in this episode? 7 minutes. 7 minutes of so-called actual fighting, of action, and then like 37 minutes of a dragon burning shit. And again, they reused a whole bunch of scenes. I guess they were running out of money by the time they got to... By the time they get to this episode, yeah, we gotta end this goddamn thing. We can't invest any more money. Tie off the plot lines as neatly as you possibly can. And give it to that second dragon, bitches. Too much. It's too much to have this dragon CGI. Okay. So, yeah, that was the whole episode. So the Hound and Arya go in and, Clegane Bowl, right? So much focus on this. He's going to die anyway. He's already dead. Isn't Clegane the mountain? Isn't he just an undead dude? Right? Didn't fucking... By the way, Qyburn, the way he dies is some funny shit. But he's undead, right? But, a big fucking castle falling on you is going to destroy you. What the hell? That was pointless. That was another thing. More of this fucking nihilism in this fucking episode. There's no meaning. Nothing needs to have any meaning. Just shock value. No meaning in life. We have to put that in this episode. We just want to shock everybody. Are you shocked? That's what all the subverted expectations are for. D&D, Dumb and Dumber, Douchey and Douchier are just two nihilists. They don't even know how to write anything that has meaning. They don't even believe life has meaning. But how are we going to get people's attention and, get people to sit and watch? We'll shock them with great visual effects and subverted expectations. Woohoo! Are you surprised? So, yeah, fucking Clegane, Sandor, Mr. Pizza Face, goes in, and Arya's with him. And then he stops Arya, tells him, you can't go in. And she's like, okay. And then he goes in and he encounters, Cersei and the Mountain and like 4 Kingsguard that survived half the fucking castle falling down on them somehow. And they attack Clegane, and of course the obvious thing happens. They're on a fucking stairwell, so hello! Only 1 or 2 of these guys can approach the Mountain at once. The Mountain's little brother, Sandor at a time, the Hound, so he cuts through them very easily. And then all that's left is the Mountain, who goes to attack his brother for I don't know what reason. This is another thing I don't understand. What is the Mountain's hatred for his little brother? Sibling rivalry? I don't know. You played with one of my toys when I was 6 and I burned half your face off, but I'm still angry about you playing with my fucking toys, so I have to kill you. I have something invested in the animus I have toward you. So I'm going to ignore my queen and ignore Qyburn, even though it's been set up all these fucking seasons, since season 4, was it? That I am a mindless automaton who follows orders. But now suddenly I am invested in destroying you, even though I have no reason that I can think of to be angry at you, even though you have a lot of reasons to be angry at me. It makes no sense. So he starts walking down the steps to attack Sandor. The queen says, protect me. Qyburn says, hey, meathead, protect your queen. At which point, this is great. I really hated Qyburn, by the way. At which point, the Mountain grabs Qyburn by the head, picks him up, throws him by his head down the stairs, and cracks his foot. At first he cracks his head into a wall, blood spatters, and then he tosses him, while still holding his head like a fucking Crenshaw melon, and tosses him down the fucking stairs. And cracks his head open again. It was great. By the way, that's how Qyburn died. I love it. That was pretty good. An ignominiable end for a character I never liked anyway. And then what happens, and this is just like, Cersei is just like, sees these 2 guys looking at each other. She's got nobody to protect her. She's totally vulnerable. So what does she do? She walks down the stairs. Right past Sandor Clegane, and Sandor lets her walk by. You want to walk by me? What the fuck do I care? He didn't even look at her. He was just looking at the Mountain, and the Mountain was just looking at him. I don't get this. I understand Sandor's motivation for killing his older brother, but what's the motivation for the older brother to be so invested in killing Sandor that he ignores commands from his creator and the person he's been protecting so diligently for these past 4 seasons? I don't understand it. It made no sense. So anyway, Clegane Bowl gets underway, and they have little, cut scenes between that and Arya running around the city like Sonic the Hedgehog. Zoom! Try to save people, and she doesn't save anybody. They all die anyway. But she survives. So you cut back to Sandor and the Mountain fighting. And, he's hitting him and, the mountain's got this great armor, so he's cutting at the fucking mountain and it's doing nothing. His blade's just bouncing off the armor, which is actually realistic when it comes to plate armor. It's amazing how in episode 3, plate armor did nothing. Jorah got stabbed like 58 fucking times by undead whites with shitty-ass, rusty piece of crap weapons right through the breastplate. They're sticking him like a fucking pincushion. It's like he's not even wearing armor. But suddenly, magically, in this episode, armor works. Imagine that! Armor protects people! I wouldn't have known it from episode 3. No internal consistency in this world at all. Yeah, let's set it up to mirror the world that we already know. And sometimes it'll work, and sometimes it won't, because, physics is kind of iffy in the GOT universe. Didn't you know that? So eventually, he's able to stick the mountain. And somehow armor that stopped cuts from a gigantic two-handed sword. He's able to push through it, which wouldn't happen, by the way. You can't stab through plate armor with a sword. It doesn't work. At least not if it's good quality. Okay? Oh, but he stabs right through it. The blade goes out the mountain's back. No effect. Because, he's an undead zombie. But an undead zombie who apparently is still motivated by very real, living animosity, which shouldn't be there because he didn't get half his face burned off by Sandor. But anyway, the next thing you know, they're fighting with their fists, and the mountain picks him up and starts to gouge his eyes out just like he did, the Viper. I forget the guy's Oberyn Martell in season 4. He was Tyrion's champion. Same thing. But while he's halfway through, he manages to gouge one of the eyes out, but the other is working. Halfway through, the Hound remembers, hey, I got a fucking dagger. Oh, I forgot. And starts stabbing the fucking mountain. It does nothing, of course. Sandor tells him, die, bitch. And then he starts laughing maniacally, and then he starts to get his eyes gouged out. And then he decides to do what I thought would be the very obvious thing. Well, the body, stabbing him to the body doesn't seem to work, but, he's got a brain, and that's making everything work. Why don't I stab him in the fucking head? He only thinks of this as his eyes are getting gouged out, though. And, he can't see, so he feels the head, and then, whap. Now that stops the mountain for a moment. At which point, Clegane, the Hound, is sitting there on the ground, watching his brother try to pull the dagger out of his eye, and he just gets angry. He screams, and then charges the mountain, pushing him through a dilapidated, falling apart wall, and they both plunge hundreds of feet down into burning ruin. The end for Sandor. Meaningless, useless death. The mountain would have died anyway. I don't care what kind of shambling mound this motherfucker is. When he has 50 million tons of rock drop on him, he's history squat like a fucking bug. But apparently, we have to kill off Sandor because, we can't afford to pay him for another episode, goddammit. And we don't want to do the writing required to have him do anything or be active in any way, shape, or form in the next episode. Because we're the laziest fucking showrunners on the planet. We spent too much time during that 2 years whoring and sucking coke off of fucking whores' asses to do an equality writing. All right, so while that's going on and Dany's flying over the fucking city, somehow Tyrion, I don't understand this. I mean, the plot armor for some of these characters is impenetrable, right? Is walking around the city as people are fighting. Little fucking dwarf, half man, walking around, la-dee-da, looking at the destruction with this pained look on his face. Bitch, there's still people around that could kill your ass. Aren't you concerned? No, I'm Tyrion. And even though they made me into a fucking moron, I know that the writers have made it so that nobody's going to attack me. Oh, okay. Yeah! All right. That's it. That's the whole episode. Why was Arya there? No reason. She served no purpose whatsoever. She had almost no lines. She did nothing. Contributed nothing. Her actions had no effect of any kind. There were a bunch of people as she was running about after the Hound told her, you don't want to end up like me. Don't be like me. I don't want to be like you. Your burned up face. And so she leaves. Wow. She's easily manipulated, huh? That Melisandre manipulates her. Tells her, you're going to stuff out blue eyes. I go kill the Night King. Sandor Clegane tells her, you don't want to be like me? You don't want to kill Cersei? Get out of here. She leaves. Pointless character at this point. No purpose. Jon Snow. Useless. Pointless. What did he do? Grey Worm becomes a villain. I have joined you. I'm not a slave anymore. You freed me. I want to be a champion of the common people. Slays 1,000,000 common people. Meh, but they killed my girlfriend. Varys becomes a moron. Tyrion becomes a moron. Jaime, his entire redemption arc, destroyed. Gone. Yeah, we wanted you to be redeemed, but we got to ruin that because subvert expectations. Yeah, we got to subvert those expectations, right? We can't give people what they want. No, that would be wrong. Unless, of course, it coincides with being the easiest course possible. Then we'll give you what you want, because it's very easy for us to do that. Ah, boy, oh boy, oh boy. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. And subverting expectations is easy also. They didn't really want to do anything difficult. You see. When it's difficult and might require some creative writing, subvert expectations. Where it's easy and already been foreshadowed, we'll just give them what they want. Golden Company, all that build-up. More fucking build-up. All that bullshit with the fucking Iron Bank and bankrolling the fucking Golden Company. What happened to them? They died in like 2 seconds. They're dead. Dragon breath, it's so much more powerful than we realized. Yeah. The Scorpions can't hit shit. They can't hit anything. Armies being magically conjured. Conjure. Oh, my men are dead. And what was this bullshit about half the army dying? Do you remember that it was the last episode? Right after the fight with the undead, they were talking about invading King's Landing. We lost half our army. I'm looking around. There's nobody left alive. What do you mean half your army? Everybody's dead. Did anybody see half them motherfuckers still alive? After the battle with the Night King, they were all dead. Was it just me that saw all those fucking lights from the Dothraki swords getting snuffed out in one cavalry charge? Was I the only one that saw that? I mean, she had all these fucking Unsullied left. I saw them all die. They all died defending the retreat into Winterfell. That supposedly can't hold all these troops. Oh, that's why all those people were outside the walls. Castles are force multipliers and can defend 10, 15, 20 times the numbers attacking them. Oh, but we're going to stand on the outside like a bunch of dumb motherfuckers with our dicks in our hands. It makes no sense. Oh, my God. And by the way, let's explore some of the other inconsequentialities of this show, where they tried to make some of the totally irrelevant characters that used to be very relevant somehow important or useful, but they failed. Or you're running around trying to save that little girl and her mommy, and then she went into that building and tried to save those people, and she got them all killed. They all died anyway. Let's go out in the streets where the dragons flying around burning shit and Dothrakis are chopping people down, because if you stay in here, you're going to die. If you go with me, you're definitely going to die. You're going to stay in here, you're definitely going to die. Maybe die. But if you go outside, dragon fire and Dothraki, you stay in here, the building might fall down, but maybe the dragon won't burn it. But if you go outside with me, you'll definitely die from dragon fire or Dothraki. But hey, I'm going to make you go outside anyway. That was her whole purpose in the episode. She served no fucking purpose. John served no purpose. He was along for the fucking ride. Along for the ride. What did he do? He saved that one broad from getting raped. In that one scene, one of his own soldiers went to rape some broad, and he told the guy, no, stop. And the guy tried to fight him, and of course, John ran him through. And then he tells the woman to hide. Everybody died, bitch! You told her to go hide, and she got ran through by somebody, or a fucking building fell on her, or she got burned to death and became a crispy, yummy treat for Drogon. So ultimately, you serve no purpose either. I love how they tried to make Arya and Jon relevant in this episode, and they literally serve no purpose. And Tyrion, he looked like an idiot. He looked like a fucking idiot. I bet he's wishing now that he had supported and helped Varys. You packed the wrong horse, you dumb dwarf. They really macerated Tyrion. He used to be so brilliant, didn't he? Now he's dumb. He's dumb. Oh, yeah, but, there comes a time where you just got to make your choice and stick with it, No, I don't know. You're going to be as dumb as John and his father, Ned, his adoptive father. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just going to mindlessly follow people, even if they slaughter 1 million innocent people. Because, reasons. Oh, fucking A. And Cersei. Don't get me started on Cersei. I bet the feminists on Tumblr are going nuts. Strong women. Cersei's so strong, she's crying. Was she crying at the end? With Jaime? Oh, I missed that. So then, I missed a couple things. Sorry. I'm doing this off the cuff. I don't have any script or anything, so you got to forgive me. All right, so 1 second. I'm running low on go juice. Coffee. I need a little more juice to get through to the end of this bitch. All right. Something about coffee that when it sits in a thermos for a while, it tastes better. I don't know why. Maybe the tannins and everything are able to dissolve better, more thoroughly after they've sit and percolated in that heat for a while. But whatever it is, there's something about coffee that's been in the thermos for a while that tastes better. Maybe that's it. I don't know. But anyway, back to my commentary. So, Jaime, since he couldn't get into the Red Keep, he did the ringing of the bells as he promised his brother he would. And then he went to the outside of the Red Keep to one of the secret entrances, which apparently are never guarded. This castle. Anybody can get in if they just know where these fucking secret entrances are. Wow. There's all these secret entrances that anybody could stumble upon and get into the castle. That's great. That's brilliant security. So he gets to one of the outer secret entrances, the one where Tyrion hid the skiff that he said would be there for him and Cersei to escape if he could get to her and convince Cersei to escape. And who's there? Just miraculously, Euron Greyjoy. Why? Are you telling me? So basically what happened, I told you that the Iron Fleet got destroyed. They couldn't aim anymore. And Euron, who was the brilliant marksman who hit Rhaegar 3 fucking times, just decided to not shoot the thing anymore, even though he's apparently the one who has the master ability to reload these fucking scorpions at epic speed and hit anything. Well, his ship got destroyed with the now kinetic concussive blasts of Dany's dragon along with all his other 1,000 ships in 2 minutes. Because now she could just strafe them and they blow apart. Even though in the battle for Slaver's Bay, it took 3 dragons a long time to burn up a ship. But now, Dragonfire just totally blows stone and wood apart. Oh, my! So he had to jump into the water, right? And he ends up coming on shore at the exact point, at the exact time that Jaime is in the same place trying to get into the Red Keep, one of the secret entrances that is essentially on the shoreline with the water. Wow, that's amazing coincidence, isn't it? Oh, shit. I call it bad writing. We need some more filler. We have to close out Euron's plot line. How are we going to do it? Well, his ship got destroyed. He's going to have to swim to shore. And Jaime's going to get into the castle from the shoreline into one of the secret entrances. Why don't we just have them surreptitiously meet up at the exact same time? And for some reason, I cannot fathom, Euron attacks Jaime. I have no idea why. Why, I don't know. Maybe it could be because he thought that Cersei was pregnant. Maybe he had been told she was pregnant by Cersei, and he thinks that that's his kid. Although I really haven't seen any familial loyalty from Euron. He doesn't seem to give a good goddamn about family at all. The guy seems such a pragmatist and such a psychopath. He doesn't give a fuck. From what I've learned about his character, he couldn't give a shit that she's pregnant. I mean, he might care some, but when it comes to his life and his safety over some fucking kid, let the kid burn. Let the castle fall on the lady. I'm not going to risk my life. Apparently, his character, I don't know, it's changed. Kind of like everybody else. Dany lost her marbles. Grey Worm has no conscience anymore. Instead of fighting for the free people, he slaughters them. No honor. Yeah, sure. Why don't we just have the characters do whatever? The opposite, of course. So Euron, for some reason, attacks Jaime. He has nothing but a knife. Jaime has a sword, but somehow he beats the crap out of Jaime. Now, look. I know Jaime losing his right hand made him into a kind of a gimpy fuck, but he survived the Battle of Winterfell and the undead attacking. You can say, oh, yeah, well, they're unskilled. Yeah, but there were like a lot of them. Okay, so you have to have some skill to survive that. Yeah, minus Sam. Okay, that's just impenetrable plot armor. Okay, he survived because plot armor. And I guess you could say that Jaime survived plot armor as well. But he survives that, but he can't fight Euron at all, even though he's got a fucking sword and Euron's got a little dagger, and Euron manages to stab him twice. But then Jaime finally kills him. So there was no reason whatsoever for Euron to attack Jaime. The baby, I don't buy it. The guy has, again, he's shown no conscience. He doesn't give a fuck about things like that. I don't recall if we even saw any example of any time that Cersei told him that she was pregnant. Was there ever a time where we're shown on screen that she told him she was pregnant? I don't think so. So he didn't know that she was pregnant, and she wasn't showing miraculously, even though supposedly months have passed. Oh, right, magic teleport technology. He could just bebop across 3,000 miles like that. Jaime gets stabbed twice. Euron gets mortally wounded, and apparently Jaime got mortally wounded too, but not mortally wounded enough that he couldn't get into the keep. Finds Cersei in the catacombs underneath the keep, and she sees him, and she's like, oh, my love! And I got to tell you, I'm real disappointed. I'm real disappointed in Jaime. He seemed to have found his honor. He seemed to have developed some real character and integrity and grown as a character and not been such a pathetic, simp, lapdog, weenie. This woman, by the way, she tried to kill him. Bronn told him that, hey, your sister hired me to kill you. But I'll go back to her anyway, because I'm a pathetic loser. That's a great way to end his character. As horribly as they've handled the female characters in this show, they've really took a dump on the male ones. They're either complete morons or they've just slid backwards into their old, horrible, irredeemable selves. Lovely! Oh, boy. So, he finds her, tries to take her to the exit, and what happens? Well, it's blocked with rubble because, Dany's been flying around with her magic fucking concussive blast fire that didn't have concussive blasting power before, but miraculously just developed the ability to blow stone apart instead of melt it with intense heat. So, they're stuck. Shit's falling down around them, and they hug. Jaime's just like, look at me, you only look at me, and they're hugging each other and looking at each other, and then the roof falls on them. Basically illustrating that Sandor didn't have to die. Just it's very interesting. Arya, you can't kill the queen, she's going to die anyway. But me, I have to kill my brother, even though he's going to get fucked up and destroyed anyway. What logic is this? I want to die. Arya, I'm not going to take my own advice, even though it equally applies to me. Because I have to die, because, they can't afford to pay me for the final episode. Or they're too fucking lazy to write me into it. What? So, that's... That's pretty much it for this fucking episode. Now, spoilers. So, I've heard, spoilers for the next episode. I've heard a bunch of leaks, and I hope it's not true, but the same leaks that I've heard are leaks that have also been proven correct about prior episodes. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that these leaks will be correct. It could be that the showrunners or somebody connected to the show purposely put out leaks and then only to change the leak about the final episode to misdirect everyone, but I don't think that's the case. Maybe, subvert expectations! We're going to do that even with the leaks. Could be. I hope so. I hope so, because what I've heard is very scary. Now, if you don't want to know what happens in the next episode, you should tune out now. But if you want to know, stay tuned, because I'm going to tell you. Okay, so, first of all, again, as I said before, Tyrion gets arrested by Daenerys and put on trial, and that's apparently the centerpiece of the whole show, with Jon trying to convince her to change her mind, and there are people advocating on Tyrion's behalf, and of course Tyrion pleads his case, and he was only trying to save the people, save the city that you destroyed and the people you massacred, and the same episode has Dany trying to justify her actions, and the person who supposedly kills Daenerys is, get this, Jon. That's what the spoilers say. Now, you would expect it to be Arya, because at the end of this episode, you see a spoiler with Arya looking with a vengeful look at Daenerys as she comes out of the rubble with ashes raining down. This is essentially a flashback to that episode where she was in the House of the Undying, and she was in the Red Keep, but the Red Keep was rubble, and we thought that was snow on the ground. That was actually ashes in that vision she had in the House of the Undying, not snow. But anyway, that seemed like foreshadowing, setting up Arya to be the one to kill him. But no, because you expect that, so we must subvert your expectations and have Jon do it. Because he's the last person you would expect. Because even though he's honorable and loyal and all that, that's why it's so perfect, because you wouldn't expect it. Oh, boy. Yeah, right. So Jon kills her and then takes the black for an organization that no longer needs to exist, but I guess supposedly still exists in, the colloquial sense. I suppose it still technically does exist, and it's technically an option for him to take the black. Even though the Night's Watch is probably going to be disbanded at that point, it does still exist. I guess at least legally, so that's still an option. So supposedly he gets alone with Dany, stabs her through the heart, gives up, joins the black. Then a council that includes Tyrion, not Varys, of course, because he got burned up with the dragon fire, because, expectations. We didn't want to subvert that one. I bet you expected us at this point to subvert your expectations and let him live. So we're going to double subvert you and kill him. Douchey and douchier, morons. So all these wise people get together and form this council, and supposedly on this council was Tyrion and Sam. Okay, pant load boy, yeah. Taking a dump in his pants during the Battle of Winterfell, but he survived. Plot armor! And Bronn, which I don't understand. Why would Bronn be on any council? Maybe it's because Tyrion, who is now not on trial anymore, is essentially feeling bad. He made a promise, gave him Highgarden, and, maybe had to pony up a little more and let him sit on this council. And supposedly this council chooses, guess who, to be king? Bran. The three-eyed raven, who's already proclaimed he doesn't want to be anything. I don't know that this is true. This sounds a little iffy to me. This sounds like Dumb and Dumber, douchebag and douchebaggier, essentially, leaked these details themselves just so they could subvert your expectations at the last by leaking some false information about the final episode. So I'm not sure this is true. If it is, it's the worst possible ending. And supposedly, Bran is being chosen to be king, but instead he's overseeing a council that may or may not be democratically elected. And then they'll run Westeros in a more democratic way. It doesn't sound right, because it's just such a bad ending. If that's the ending, it's horrible. Jon goes off to join the Night's Watch, which doesn't need to exist anymore. And Tyrion gets to live now, and Tyrion, along with Bronn and Sam and Bran, rule Westeros collectively. It's horrible. But you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if this is the actual ending, because it's so bad. We're subverting your expectations by giving you the worst ending humanly possible. You're doing that, all right? Yeah, because subverting expectations, well, that's preferable to good quality writing. We're going to disagree on that one, okay? Going to disagree with you on that one, buddy. All right. A few other things I noticed, by the way, about this battle. There were almost no boys in the city. Did you notice that? All these people running around the city, all the kids were girls. Did you notice that? There were no boys. I didn't see any boys. Where were the boys? It was all little girls. I mean, was this to try and kind of spark the protective side in men and the maternal side in women, and to get you that much more invested in all the people dying, all these innocents dying so horribly? Like, well, little girls, it'll have an even greater emotional impact than little boys, right? Because people actually give a fuck about little girls dying. Little boys, all males are disposable. Did you notice that? If you didn't, take a look at the episode again. So, that's one thing I noticed. Hey, and the other thing is, what the fuck? What the fuck? So Danny, within like 2 episodes, went from benevolent ruler who wants to champion the innocent, protect the innocent, and not be queen of the ashes, goes from that to whacked out of her fucking mind, mad woman who burns the whole city. She didn't just burn the wall surrounding the city. She literally strafed the whole... she burnt the whole city. They had 30 minutes plus of this bitch just flying in consistent lines. Okay, I burned that 300-foot swath. Now I'm going to take a U-turn and burn another 300-foot swath directly adjoining the last 300-foot swath until she's literally burned the whole fucking city. The whole city was gone. She burned every building, every crypt, every church, every fucking bakery, every butcher shop, everything. She killed everyone. 1 million people. Nobody survived, literally. Except for Arya, of course. And that was the end of the episode, by the way, which was like, oh, what? She has mega super duper fucking God-anointed plot armor. She came out of it alive. Nobody else was alive. She comes out of some rubble that hadn't collapsed. Everybody else died but her. And miraculously, conveniently, there's a horse that is still alive. Standing right there. How convenient. Euron coming under the shore. Jaime Lannister, how convenient. And supposedly we're supposed to believe that his only motivation for attacking Jaime was that he wanted to die and have everybody know that he killed Jaime Lannister. And nobody's going to know because Jaime died. And Jaime was the only other person that knew who had stabbed him in the guts. And he didn't even kill Jaime. The whole fucking Red Keep falling on him and Cersei killed Jaime. He's laying there dying from a gut wound that Jaime Lannister inflicted on him. And he says to himself, talking to himself, I killed Jaime Lannister. No, you didn't, bitch. How convenient that you found Jaime there. And now, how convenient that Arya is the only person to escape unscathed. Wow, that's just amazing. And that's when the episode ended. Horrible episode. The writing was crap. There was almost no dialogue, by the way. It was just a lot of I'm not kidding you. Almost the entire episode was one dragon, because they couldn't afford 2. Yeah, dragon flying over the city, going back and forth, and just burning swaths until there's nothing left but ash. She didn't want to be queen of the ashes. Now she's queen of the ashes. But you should stay loyal to me. To me. And apparently she spends the whole next episode, aside from wanting to put Tyrion on trial. I don't know what this trial bullshit is. She burned fucking Varys alive. I guess his guilt was obvious or something. Isn't Tyrion's guilt obvious too? Just burn him alive. Well, I want to seem like a good, fair, honest, law-abiding ruler now, even though I just killed 1 million innocent people for no reason. What? It makes no sense. You just murdered a bunch of innocent people, 1 million innocent people, bitch. More people than were in the North. She literally wiped out an entire fucking country. Now I'm going to decide to be moral and law-abiding and have a trial for this little man. What? You literally lost your fucking marbles and killed an entire country. But now you want to be moral. Now you want to embrace moral and ethical standards and have a trial. Okay. The whole episode was a tremendous clusterfuck. I didn't think the last episode could be beaten in terms of how bad. I had a bunch of people tell me, well, at least the next episode's going to have a lot of cool fight scenes. No, it didn't. Dragon burns shit, and Arya does something. No. Jon does something. No. Sandor does something not meaningful, dies. For no reason, because, the mountain would have died anyway when the castle fell on him. Well, been destroyed. Just, what the fuck? So that's it for my analysis of this episode. Let me know what you think in the comments section. And please like and subscribe if you like my content and you like the raw, red pill, realistic way that I present things. And also, if you are so disposed, please consider donating to my channel. I get no money from YouTube. I have no monetization, so this channel is entirely fan-funded. You'll find links in the description, or you can just visit my website, therealistphilosopher.com/donate. That's therealistphilosopher.com/donate, or direct links are in the description. Also, consider following me on social media. You'll see all my social media accounts at the bottom of the screen. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Gab, Instagram. I'm a very prolific poster on Facebook and Twitter, as I reply to a lot of leftist nut jobs on those. So that's a good place to follow me if you want to catch what I have to say to these people. Also, if you want to be a guest on the show, Skype me, and I'll add you as a contact. My Skype is The Realist Philosopher. That is The Realist Philosopher. Or email me at admin@therealistphilosopher.com. That's ADMIN @therealistphilosopher.com. This show airs every day, Monday to Friday, from 10 to 11 a.m. New York City time. That time may or may not change in the future. If it does, I will update it on the screen as well as on the countdown timer for future streams, which you can always find on my channel's page. And that's it. I am the Realist Philosopher, and I wish you a good day. Take care.